This is from a book. It's a great book. We're going to do a little deep dive into this book. It's over 450 pages or so, so I'm going to kind of pick and choose a few things. This is called The Mind Illuminated, and it integrates Buddhist wisdom and brain science for greater mindfulness. And I'm going to read the part on worldly desire. Worldly desire, sometimes called sense desire, is when we pursue. Right, just ask yourself, right? When's the last time I did this? Is when we pursue, delight in, and cling to the pleasures of material existence. This also means desiring to avoid their opposites. These desires include gaining material objects and preventing their loss, having pleasurable experiences and avoiding pain, achieving fame, power, and influence while avoiding infamy and impotence, and attaining the love and admiration of others while avoiding hatred and blame. In Buddhism, these are sometimes referred to as the 8 worldly dharmas. Here's an easy formula to help remember them. Gain, loss, pleasure, pain, fame, obscurity, and praise, blame. This kind of desire is so fundamental a part of our biological programming that you may have never asked yourself why it exists or questions the effect it has and whether you'd be better off without it. Worldly desire evolved because in the natural world, we have to strive for the resources we need to survive and reproduce. And that takes effort and motivation. We're programmed from birth to take pleasure in, desire, and pursue the very things and experiences that help us stay healthy, get a mate, and provide for our offspring. And we're social animals, so we take pleasure in and crave acceptance, status, and power because they're important to our survival and reproduction as well. The innate predisposition to desire whatever brings pleasure has made humans very successful. Right. Even as a child, as a newborn, right, suckling with the mom, that skin to skin contact. The reflex that is present in newborns to find the breast for breastfeeding, for instance, pretty powerful. That's a survival instinct. And guess what? It feels good. Why? Because we release oxytocin. The mom releases oxytocin when the obviously with that skin to skin contact, but also with the suckling of the breast, and then the baby as well. So, and the baby is getting nourishment, right? Which is a survival instinct. Right? I get my food. Yet when it comes to the effects of desire on your life, consider that the world has changed since these desires first evolved. Sex, food, especially high-calorie food, fatty, sugary, and salty foods, and labor-saving devices are far more available today. Unrestrained desire leads not only to overconsumption and health and relationship difficulties, but many other issues that get revealed through meditation as well. That said, meditation doesn't involve repressing worldly desires. It gives us direct experiential insight into the many ways that desire leads to pain and anxiety. Insight in the way that the desire leads to pain and anxiety. And so when we want something so bad, like even my blood pressure to come down, how much anxiety is driven based on the desire of wanting my blood pressure to come down? How much suffering from that? This insight frees us from being ruled by desire so we can cultivate its opposite instead, a non-grasping and equanimity. Our new motivations will come from a place of generosity for others and yourself, loving kindness, and shared joy. We will discuss these positive qualities in later chapters. Worldly desire is so deeply embedded in us that you may have trouble imagining how we could live without it. However, as intelligent beings, we no longer need to be driven by compulsive desire in order to take care of ourselves. We can act effectively from a foundation of reason and equanimity. Furthermore, generosity, loving kindness, and sympathetic joy will only serve to enhance the survival of social beings like ourselves. Nor does eliminating desire lessen our experience of pleasure and happiness. Free from craving and filled with love, we become more fully present for positive experiences of every kind. That is awesome! If you've been in this practice, if you've done this practice, right, there's this sense. It's not like we don't get rid of desires, okay? And I don't push them away, right? We don't push them away. We're not getting rid of them, right? But there's an equanimity, sort of a peace about it. It's like, oh, we'll see. Right? And in that present moment experience, there's a joy and love that just emerges. Is that a worldly desire? It emerges. And we don't even hold on to that. And when you don't judge yourself, you don't say, oh, I'm such a good person, I didn't judge myself. No, you just, okay. As the mind becomes unified, worldly desire weakens and eventually disappears, not only during meditation, but from daily life as well. Experienced firsthand, this is an extraordinary transformation. You don't grow stoic, indifferent to pleasure, or lose your motivation. So that's important. People often ask, well, if I'm not striving to do anything, won't I lose my motivation? What's the point of, it doesn't happen. But rather are filled with joy, calm, and contentment. A unified and blissful mind, in other words, has no reason to chase worldly desires. You will live a more dynamic life, not constrained by craving, and you will be open to many more possibilities. So for me, the practice of, is actually being aware, bringing to awareness and being conscious of the worldly desires that arise constantly from all the beliefs that we have, from all the values that we've placed on various things. Okay, maybe one is monetary, maybe one is the type of car that you drive, or the house that you live in, or the clothes that you live in, or even the medications that you're on. I don't take medication. Or even how at peace you might be. Sort of like, oh, okay. There are my worldly desires. And you can meditate on your worldly desires, like my worldly desire to not have my kids be sick, because it causes so much suffering. So there it is. There it is again. Thank you for showing up. I still haven't done my work around that one. All right, let's go into our practice today. Okay, so let's find a comfortable posture. A posture you feel relaxed yet alert. Closing your eyes if you feel comfortable closing your eyes. If not, having a soft downward gaze as we're looking off on the horizon. And taking 2 or 3 deep breaths. And with each inhale, allowing yourself to be ever so slightly more present with each breath you take. And then breathing regularly at whatever pace works best for you. And bringing your attention to your anchor, your resource. A place that you can direct your attention to, that you feel safer. And from here, as your mind wanders, simply coming back to your anchor or resource. And just opening up your awareness to any worldly desires that are present for you right now. Just bring them to your awareness. And notice the energy around these desires. How does your body feel? Notice any change in your breathing pattern, any felt sense in your body. And just notice that. Be curious about this worldly desire or desires that arise for you. Ask yourself how you would be different if you had those desires right now. At all. And notice what you feel. And ask yourself, what if you never got those desires? How would you feel? How would your true self change, if at all? bringing a curiosity to our worldly desires. Any insight from a place of expanded awareness. From a place of love, kindness, compassion. Can you be with yourself, whether or not you get the worldly desire that you are seeking? Having a sense of non-attachment, equanimity. And see what happens. Paying attention to our worldly desires from a place of resource. With non-attachment, non-judgment, loving kindness, compassion. Bringing in that sense of equanimity, the balance of the mind. And noticing what we feel in our body as we're breathing, sitting in our meditation. And now bringing your attention back to your resource, back to your anchor. Taking 2 or 3 deep breaths. Opening your eyes if your eyes were closed. Stretching or moving if you need to stretch. And just taking a moment to reflect on your practice.